Trainwreck is a 2015 American romantic comedy film directed by Judd Apatow and written by Amy Schumer. The film stars Schumer and Bill Hader, along with an ensemble cast. The film is about a hard-drinking, promiscuous, free-spirited young magazine writer named Amy Townsend, played here by Schumer, who has her first serious relationship with a prominent orthopedic surgeon named Erin Connors, played by Hader. The film received positive reviews from critics, praising the performances of Schumer, Hader, and John Cena, and the screenplay. Principal photography began on May 19, 2014 in New York City. The film premiered at the South by Southwest Film Festival on March 15, 2015, and was theatrically released in the United States on July 17, 2015 by Universal Pictures. The film won several awards and was nominated for numerous others, including 2 Golden Globe Awards for Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy, and Best Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy, and the Writers Guild of America Award for Best Original Screenplay. Trainwreck grossed $110.2 million in North America and $30.6 million in other territories for a total gross of $140.8 million against a budget of $35 million. In an interview with the New York Times, Schumer revealed that she and Apatow dismissed their first idea for a story, later revealed to have Schumer as a used car saleswoman, and shifted to amplify a comedic version of Schumer's own past as its basis. Unfortunately, on July 23, 2015, a mass shooting occurred at the Grand 16 movie theater in Lafayette, Louisiana, during a screening of the movie that resulted in 2 dead and 9 injured. Before the shooter himself, John Russell Hauser, committed suicide. Amy Schumer would later post on her Twitter account, "My heart is broken, and all my thoughts and prayers are with everyone in Louisiana." She later joined U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer of New York, a cousin of her father's, in calling for stricter gun control and increased mental health funding. The cast includes Amy Schumer as Amy Townsend, a heavy-drinking, oversexed party girl who writes for a men's magazine and is seeing a gym addict, Stephen. Judd Apatow contacted Amy Schumer to make this movie after hearing her interview on The Howard Stern Show. Judd was blown away by how funny and intimate she was while discussing the troubles of her father's illness. Schumer spent 2 months practicing with the cheerleading squad for her climactic dance number. Bill Hader as Dr. Erin Connors, a prominent orthopedic surgeon for many sports athletes. Apatow arranged for Schumer and Hader to go out together while watching them interact with each other as a screen test. Hader later received the co-lead role. Brie Larson as Kim Townsend, Amy's younger sister, who is married and expecting a child. Colin Quinn as Gordon Townsend, Amy and Kim's father, who divorced their mother at a young age. Quinn spent a lot of time with Amy's real dad, who really does have multiple sclerosis. John Cena as Stephen, Amy's boyfriend. Now, it's well known, of course, John Cena was a WWE wrestler before becoming an actor. Ironically, in real life, Amy Schumer actually did date a WWE wrestler by the name of Nick Nemeth, better known as Dolph Ziggler. At the time of the film's release, John Cena was dating co-wrestler Nikki Bella, who was very upset he agreed to perform the sex scene without discussing it with her first. Cena later apologized to her in an episode of Total Divas. Tilda Swinton as Diana, Amy's boss. Tilda was in charge of designing how her character looked and talked. She was very keen to take the part that was completely different from anything else she had ever done before, and she'd always wanted to work with Judd Apatow. LeBron James as himself. LeBron filmed all of his scenes within 1 week, and Chris Rock was on set while LeBron filmed his scenes, and actually came up with several lines that James says in the film. And finally, Norman Lloyd as Norman, a resident at the assisted living facility where Amy and Kim's father stays. Norman was 100 years old during the filming. He was born in November of 1914 and had his first role in a Broadway show in 1927 and his first movie role in 1939. His career included roles with Alfred Hitchcock, Orson Welles, Charles Chaplin, and Martin Scorsese. After being blacklisted during this Red Scare of the 1950s, Alfred Hitchcock again employed him, this time as a producer on the TV series Alfred Hitchcock Presents in 1955. He would enjoy an acting resurgence during the 1980s after being cast as Dr. Daniel Auslander on St. Elsewhere in 1982. Lloyd claimed that most of the lines in the movie were improvised, and it was the first time in his career that he improvised during a performance. He later died on May 11, 2021, at the age of 106. Now, this is one of these films I've been meaning to watch for quite some time. I've seen plenty of clips all around the internet, but I never really got a chance to watch the film in its entirety, and I'm glad I did. Amy Schumer's humor is off the wall. It's sharp and it's cynical, and it's just my kind of humor. Trainwreck plays out on the most boring rom-com tropes and throws it against the wall with its sharp humour, relatable characters, and hilarious work here from Amy Schumer and her supporting cast. Schumer gives her raunchy rom-com enough of her signature style and wit to prevent it ever feeling predictable and boring. Schumer and Hader here are wonderful together, and they have fantastic chemistry. Hader himself is such a talented comedian, and he has some of my favourite Saturday Night Live skits ever done. He also has great range as an actor, particularly if you watch him in the series Barry. But here he plays off Amy Schumer perfectly, as he almost underplays his role so as not to overshadow Amy Schumer, but rather to work alongside her. Apatow has a style of directing which can either be a hit or miss for many people, but I've always been a big fan of his work. But here he perfectly connects with Amy Schumer, and it's one of the few films that Apatow hasn't actually written himself. Instead, he lets Schumer really sort of take the reins in this one, as he directs her perfectly. I think also making a comedy film here focus on a female protagonist refreshes the genre, and it's a great choice. Amy Schumer's biting, dry style of delivery and his push for character-driven comedy go together so well, and it really just meshes into a perfect movie. I was also suitably impressed here by LeBron James, who gives a very charming performance, and a funny one to say the least. His gentle, kind friendship with Hader also plays out perfectly, and I must say, for a professional basketball player to act so well was quite surprising. One of the standouts, though, has to be John Cena for me, as he steals the show. Here he plays the soft, sensitive, bodybuilding boyfriend of Schumer, who has some of the best lines in the whole show, as he tries to hide his latent homosexuality, as he protects firstly Amy's honor in a cinema scene that will just let you laugh out loud, and also he tries to talk dirty to her during sex. It's absolutely hilarious. I like how Schumer is just your everyday kind of person. She's just normal, but with fantastic wit, which just makes her stand out. I also particularly love Tilda Swinton here as Diana, Amy's self-absorbed boss, and it's wonderful to see Swinton in such a different role from her usual. And even the little cameos here from Daniel Radcliffe as the dog walker and Marissa Tomei as the dog owner, it just adds to this offbeat comedy style that I love in this particular film. This is a well-made and well-written comedy with some great eccentric characters, all led by a comic playing herself perfectly, if you will, blowing up the old style of the rom-com to make a fun, over-the-top hilarious spoof on romance, commitment, and the reality of love. Trainwreck gets an 8.5 out of 10.